You are standing in front of a mirror right now, or you will be soon. And without thinking about it, you will put on clothes. You will choose a shirt, pull on pants, maybe layer something over it all. It takes less than 2 minutes. You will not question it for a single second. But here is the thing. That act, that completely automatic invisible ritual, is one of the strangest things any creature on this planet has ever done. And the reason your ancestors started doing it has almost nothing to do with what you think. It was not about warmth, not at first, not even close. The real story of why humans started wearing clothes reaches back further than you can imagine, into a world that was darker, more dangerous, and more socially complex than anything you learned about in school. And once you understand what actually drove your ancestors to cover themselves, you will never look at what you are wearing the same way again. Let us start with the body you were born into. You are, by any biological standard, a naked ape. Every other great ape on this planet, chimpanzees, gorillas, orangutans, has a dense coat of hair covering most of its body. You have almost none. Your skin sits exposed to the world in a way that is genuinely unusual for a primate of your size. Scientists have spent decades asking why. And the answer, pieced together from genetics, fossil records, and parasite biology, is stranger than almost anyone expected. In 2003, a researcher named Mark Pagel, working with Walter Bodmer at Oxford, published a study arguing that humans lost most of their body hair as an evolutionary defense against parasites. Fur, it turns out, is a perfect habitat for lice, ticks, mites, and fleas. These parasites do not just cause discomfort, they carry disease. They spread infection through communities. For early humans living in close social groups, a dense coat of hair was not a feature. It was a liability. So over hundreds of thousands of years, natural selection stripped it away. But that solution created a new problem. A naked body in the African savanna is a body exposed to something else entirely. Not just the sun, not just the cold of the night. Something far more immediate. Something social. Here is what most people miss about early human life. Your ancestors did not live in isolated pairs. They lived in groups. Complex, hierarchical, status-driven groups where every signal your body sent was being read by the people around you. Fear, arousal, dominance, submission, a hairless skin broadcasts all of it. Blushing, flushing, the physical signs of vulnerability, suddenly visible to every member of the group all the time. Clothing, when it finally appeared, did not solve the problem of cold. It solved the problem of exposure. And here is where the science gets genuinely strange. In 2011, researchers used an unusual method to date when humans first started wearing clothes. They studied lice. Specifically, they studied the genetic divergence between head lice and body lice. Head lice live in hair. Body lice live in clothing. They are the same species, split by a change in human behavior. By calculating how long ago body lice branched off from head lice, scientists could estimate when humans first started wearing garments consistently enough for a new louse population to evolve. The answer? Somewhere between 83,000 and 170,000 years ago. That is tens of thousands of years before modern humans left Africa. Clothing was not something your ancestors invented to survive a cold climate. It was already part of their lives before they needed it for warmth, which means the first reason for wearing something was not survival from the elements. It was something else. Anthropologist Gillian Ruvolo and her colleagues at Harvard argue the evidence points towards social signaling. Not protection, not warmth. Signal. Think about what clothing does beyond covering skin. It communicates. It marks group membership. It distinguishes one tribe from another. It signals status within a hierarchy. Even the earliest archaeological evidence of clothing materials, ochre-stained animal skins, shell beads, perforated teeth, shows up alongside other social display objects. The first things humans wore were not utilitarian. They were decorative. They were statements. Your ancestor did not wrap an animal's skin around their body because they were cold. They wrapped it around their body because they wanted the group to see them differently. And this is where the story stops being about ancient humans and starts being about you. Because the same impulse is running through you right now. The clothes you choose today are not primarily about temperature regulation. Your home has heating and cooling. Your car has climate control. You are almost never in genuine danger from the elements. And yet you spend real money, real time, and real emotional energy deciding what to wear. Why? Because your brain is still running the same ancient software. The same circuitry that drove your ancestor to drape a painted hide over their shoulders to signal status in the group is the circuitry that makes you anxious about what to wear to a job interview. The same deep social machinery. In 2012, researchers Hajo Adam and Adam Galinsky at Northwestern University published a study on what they called in-clothes cognition. They found that the clothes you wear do not just signal to other people, they change how you think. Participants who wore a white lab coat described as a doctor's coat performed significantly better on attention tasks than those who wore street clothes or were told the same coat belonged to a painter. The coat did not change their intelligence. It changed their identity, which changed their performance. Your clothes are not just a social signal sent outward. They are a message sent inward. This is something your ancestors understood instinctively, even if they had no language for it. Shamans in early human societies wore specific garments during ritual. Warriors painted and adorned their bodies before battle. The clothing was not incidental, it was the transformation. You put on the skin of something powerful, and for a time, you became something powerful. The archaeological record supports this. Some of the oldest known clothing artifacts are not everyday items, they are ceremonial ones. Burial sites across Europe and Asia show bodies interred with elaborate beadwork, decorated hides, and shells from hundreds of miles away. Your ancestors were buried in the clothes that told the story of who they were and who they wanted to be remembered as. Researcher Ian Gilligan at the University of Sydney has spent years mapping the relationship between climate change and the development of complex clothing. His work shows something striking. In periods when temperatures dropped sharply, particularly during the last glacial maximum around 20,000 years ago, humans did not invent clothing. They refined it. They developed sewn garments with fitted seams, layered systems, and tailored construction. The needle, one of the most underappreciated technologies in human history, appears in the archaeological record around 50,000 years ago. Before the needle, clothes were draped. After the needle, they were built. And built clothing changed everything. A fitted garment traps air more effectively. It allows humans to move into environments that would otherwise be lethal. The migration out of Africa, the spread across Europe and Asia, the eventual crossing into the Americas, none of it happens without clothing technology. The needle is arguably as important to human expansion as the spear. But even in the coldest climates, even when thermal protection became genuinely critical, humans did not stop decorating. They did not switch from signal to function. They layered function on top of signal. Warm garments were still dyed, embroidered, and adorned with status markers. Because the social drive never went away, it just got company. So here is what you are actually dealing with every morning when you stand in front of your closet. You are running a system that is at least 100,000 years old. A system built to navigate complex social hierarchies, signal group membership, project status, and shape your own identity before you ever say a word. Your brain does not know you live in a world of central heating and synthetic fibers. It knows you are about to walk into a group of other humans who will read everything about you in the first few seconds. And it is trying, urgently and automatically, to help you send the right signal. The anxiety you feel about what to wear is not vanity. It is ancient social intelligence doing exactly what it evolved to do. And here is the thing that brings this all the way back to where we started. Tonight, when you take off your clothes and set them aside, you are doing something no other animal on this planet does. You are removing your social skin. You are stepping out of the signal and back into the naked ape underneath. And tomorrow morning, you will put it all back on. Choose your tribe. Choose your status. Choose who you want the group to see. Just like your ancestor did, 100,000 years ago, reaching for a painted hide in the firelight. The mirror has not changed. Only what you are wearing in front of it has.